Hi, this is Megan from Feeling a Little Bookish, and I'm here to do my In My Mailbox vlog. I got a new camera for Christmas, and I haven't used it at all to do any vlogs, so I figured I might as well start with a huge In My Mailbox this week. In My Mailbox is hosted by Christy at the Story Siren, and I'll put a link down below. This week, it's a bit weird. I don't normally get this many books whatsoever, but I've just discovered the library. I know. I'm 29 and just got my first library card. But better late than never. So I have my library card and I've been putting a lot of holds on a lot of books and thinking they're going to take a while to come in, and then 4 or 5 of them show up at the library at the same time. So I have a bunch of library books. I also got together with a group of girls that are all book bloggers in the Ottawa area, and I will link their websites down below. I'll also give a little group shot that we took together. So not only did we get together for a great lunch, I had an amazing time with these girls. We all brought our own books that we were trying to get rid of, and we did a little bit of a book exchange, and we were lucky enough to have a couple publishers send us some nice books. And then on top of that, because that wasn't enough books, and because, we're book bloggers and clearly addicted to books, we took a little trip across the street to Chapters, and I'm not going to lie, I spent a little bit of money there. Anyhow, I guess I'll start with the library books. I'm not going to talk too much about each book, just because then this video would be entirely too long. So, to start with, I have 20 Boy Summer by Sarah Ochler. I just finished this book. I started and finished this book today, and it was awesome. I loved it. I finished Fixing Delilah last week or the week before, and I really enjoyed it. And this book everyone raves about, and I could definitely see why. I had a lump in my throat for about half of the book. It just takes you on a roller coaster of emotions, and I loved it. So if you haven't read it, go out and get it. I also I've got The Walking Dead Volume 4. I love this TV show, and these books are just as good. They're fairly different from the TV show, so you still have that element of surprise and not knowing exactly what's going to happen when you're reading graphic novels, but they still keep some of the elements the same, so I really like them. I just finished Volume 2, so this is Volume 4. I'm waiting for Volume 3 to come in that I put a hold on at the library. Hopefully it's in the next couple... My husband just tripped over a wire. Anyways, hopefully it's in the next week or so that I can read this one right afterwards. And then I got The Miseducation of Cameron Post, and this is by Emily M. Danforth. This book sounds really good. It's about a girl who comes out of the closet, and she's actually sent away to a straight camp. So I'm really curious to see how this all plays out, especially in a YA novel. I actually took a gay literature course in university and read a lot of adult books with that kind of subject matter, but I'm curious to see how the YA genre does it. Looks really good. Then I got Balzac and the Little Chinese Seamstress, and this is by Dae Siji, and this is actually our book club pick for April in my book club. And I heard that it's fairly good. It's historical fiction, I guess, and I don't know. I figured it was at the library, I better pick it up now and get on it. Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King. I've heard a lot of people talking about this book. One that stands out, I guess, is Missy at the Book Rat. She posted a link, a review on this, and it sounds really great, and I saw it at the library. I picked it up along with a couple other holds. Next up, Hallowed by Cynthia Hand. I read Unearthly as a review book from NetGalley. So I've been waiting since before Unearthly came out to find out what happens next, and I can't wait to read this book. And the last library book is Let the Great World Spin by Colin McCann. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and I've always kind of looked at it, picked it up at the bookstore, then put it down, then picked it up, then put it down. I don't know why I had such a hesitation. Maybe I'm kind of cheap when I buy books, I'm not going to lie, so it might have been the price of the book, or I don't know, but got it at the library, so that solves that. Next up, I'm going to show you the review books that we got at the blogger convention, or not convention, but meetup. Okay. So, From HarperCollins, I got the Jane Austen Marriage Manual, and this is by Kim Izzo, and this is coming out in April. Yeah, it looks really good. I like Jane Austen, so it should be interesting. I'd like to see what she does with this book. Also, I got Arcadia by Lauren Groff, and I have not read her books, but I have seen The Monsters of Templeton around, and I've kind of always eyed it, and that was another book, you know, you kind of eye and you want it, but you're not sure. I mean, I have a ridiculous amount of books on my bookshelf downstairs, so I never did pick it up, but now I have the review copy of this, so I'm going to give it a go and see how that goes. Ooh, I've got too many piles of books here. It's a bit ridiculous. Alright, next up are a bunch of books from Hatchet Group, and I got It's Our Prom, So Deal With It, and this is by Julie Ann Peters. Looks like a cute prom style book. I actually had two different proms, one where I grew up in a small town, and then I finished high school up in Ottawa, so I had one in a small town, one in Ottawa. Very different depending on where you live, that's for sure. The Boyfriend Recession, and that is by Flynn Meany. When God Was a Rabbit by Sarah Winman. And this is, and I don't know, for you, those of you in the States, in Canada, our major bookseller is Chapters, and they always have a Heather's Pick. She's the CEO of Chapters, and she picks books that she actually says, you know what, if you don't like this book, return it, we'll give you a full refund. So she pretty much guarantees that you're going to love the book, and this is one of her picks. And I've been wanting to read this for a while, so I was excited to see this. All For You by Sheila O'Flanagan. This is kind of a light, chick-litty kind of read, and I've read a few of her books and they're fairly good. So, The Flying Man by Rupa Faruqi. This Is a Love Story by Jessica Thompson. I've never heard of this. Looks like it could be good, so. Oh, I actually forgot a library book. It's not actually a book, it's an audiobook. The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen. I do a lot of reading of audiobooks. I have an hour commute to and from my school every day, so I just throw those on, and I find I get through a lot more books that way. Next up are books that I got through the book exchange. So I have Those Across the River by Christopher Buehlman. This is kind of a mystery type novel. I've never heard of it, but I'm always up for a good mystery. Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and I think I may be the only one who hasn't read this, but I'm excited to have a copy. It's an ARC, but I'll take it. The Snow Child, and this is by, I don't know how to say this name. I'll show you. Ian Ivey, I'm not sure. Tempest by Julie Cross. This is another one of those books that had a lot of hype that I wanted to read, but have a lot of books again to read, so I didn't pick it up. Right now I have a copy. The Exploits and Adventures of Miss Althea Darcy by Elizabeth Aston. Again, another Jane Austen type book. Flawless by Laura Chapman. A Private Affair by Leslie Locke. And oh, I dropped this one on the ground. Zombie Blondes by Brian James. Alright, I'm starting to be surrounded by books. I have to move a few. There we go. So the next four are books that I purchased when we went over to Chapters. Sarah Auckler theme, I guess. So we've got Bittersweet by Sarah Auckler. And this cover is gorgeous. It's really shimmery. I don't know if you could see it all, but it looks super cute. Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. Incarnate by Jody Meadows. And I'm sure you've already seen this, but there's a butterfly on the cover. I love when they have things inside of hardcovers. It's like a little surprise waiting to be unwrapped. And last but certainly not least, White Cat by Holly Black. And I'm not usually a fan of when they change covers midway through a series. It kind of bugs me. Especially the Nightshade series. I loved the first cover and the mock-up for the second cover, and then they went and changed them all, and not my favorite covers. But this one, I actually prefer the new covers. The old covers were one of those covers where you're kind of like, don't really want to be seen reading this book. I might get made fun of. But I love the colors of these ones and the way that they do the, I guess, pointillism or whatever this is. I think it's really cool. Anyhow, that is what I got in my mailbox this week. A bit of a crazy week. But I'm sure I'll get through them all. Anyways, I'm curious to see what you get in your mailbox. Just leave me a comment at the bottom and link up your pages, and I'll be sure to check them out. Have a great reading week.